Hi, I'm Mark from Valor XL. Thank you for joining me. Today I'd like to talk to you about bringing customers to your small business on a budget. Let's face it, attracting new clients or customers is an ongoing challenge faced by any enterprise, regardless of their size or type of industry. But trying to accomplish this on a budget can be an extremely difficult hurdle to overcome. By their very nature, small businesses are usually constrained by limitations in operating revenue, and while it may not always be to the extreme that penny pinching has to be employed, it does tend to flavor every aspect of operations, including marketing efforts. If you're a cash-strapped entrepreneur, the entire prospect of making connection with the paying public can kind of be a conundrum. It can seem like a vicious cycle. Money is required to get the word out, but ventures that don't have a substantial enough customer base to generate revenue may lack the necessary funds to take the steps to attract new business in the first place. This can leave the business owner feeling like the dog chasing its tail, endlessly going in circles and never really accomplishing anything. The net result can be a compromised productivity at best, and at worst, complete burnout. The most common solution that entrepreneurs employ is to take the DIY approach to attracting new customers. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration, operating under financial limitations means that approximately 64% of small businesses opt to tackle their own marketing efforts. Now, the most ideal scenario would be one where at least one of the company's employees has some previous marketing experience. But this is likely the exception rather than the rule. As a result, business owners may find that the only option is to take a crash course on the fundamentals of communicating the business's message, and that can occur with mixed results. In the realm of microbusinesses, and even more so, sole proprietorships, the inherent pressures of DIY marketing can become even more pronounced. If you find yourself in this situation, you've no doubt also had to contend with a feeling of frustration. You likely have great confidence in the products or the services that you provide, or you otherwise wouldn't have launched your enterprise in the first place. It can seem suffocating having things of great value to offer, only to constantly hit the brick wall of feeling invisible in the marketplace. Trying to walk the fine line between maintaining the quality of what you do and finding those to partake of your offerings can be especially challenging. A certain level of despondency can creep in if you feel like no one will ever avail themselves of the opportunities that exist within the scope of your business. It's therefore critical to compartmentalize the various elements of getting the word out about your business. Make sure that marketing doesn't end up occupying a disproportionate amount of your working day, and that you still are allocating adequate time and attention toward the clients and customers that you're currently serving. Spending all of your effort and energy trying to bring new business in is futile if you're permitting the quality of your work to suffer. Recognize that marketing your business is only one slice of the pie. To keep the most disciplined handle on it, give intentional thought to how much in terms of people hours and other resources you can spare for it, and don't stray outside of the boundaries you establish. Probably the best possible starting point in the DIY marketing of your business involves crafting a unique value proposition, a UVP, that perfectly encapsulates what you're all about. Your UVP can end up serving in the same way that a mission and vision statement do in regard to the overall structure of the company, providing clarity and consistency as you move forward with all of the subordinate efforts to make it a reality. You'll never attract a new customer or client until you can discover a relevant and concise way to convince them of why your business is the one best suited to fulfill their needs. And always remember that they'll never believe it if you don't believe it. Embrace the overarching purpose of your UVP and let it be the motivating and guiding factor as you communicate the essence of your business to the public. But by what means can that kind of communication take place? Well, since the expenditure of money is a normal prerequisite in the traditional definition of marketing, if you're a budget-conscious business owner, you're probably better served by focusing on options that are completely free or relatively low cost. Social media can be an excellent choice here, as it allows for having a presence in front of a potentially large audience with no associated cost. Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube each carry with them their own advantages and disadvantages, so the most prudent approach is to have a distinct presence on each of them to give you the best prospect for getting your message heard. Consistency in your marketing is crucial. You need to be continuously presenting your business's name, logo, and UVP without any variations. But there's also prudence in slightly tweaking the approach you take based on each social media platform. Facebook is in front of a tremendous amount of eyes, but its demographic tends to be older, so it may not be the best primary choice if your clientele is under the age of 30. Instagram tends to be a very visual platform, so if you produce goods with tremendous eye appeal, it can be a powerful outlet for showcasing your best work. The role of X is a little more nuanced, as its character limitations mean that brevity and intentional structure of your messaging need to be paramount. YouTube can play a key role in helping to connect with people in a way that feels intimate and personal, as it can give you the ability to organically tell the story of what your business is doing. Connecting a face or faces with the name of a business immediately opens the door for personal interaction and removes the ambiguity of a company persona. It's important to always remember that there are real flesh and blood people behind every business name, and your customers or clients need to be reminded of that fact. If you can accomplish that in a way that makes it appear that you're speaking directly to their needs, frustrations, and challenges, you'll be better positioned to unveil your UVP so that it makes a relevant and powerful impact. When developing social media, it's important to ensure that whatever you do is eye-catching, because social media is by its very nature a visual medium. The whole idea of coming up with professional-looking graphics can seem an overwhelming prospect or an expensive one. The good news is, even if you don't have a background in any type of graphic design, there are now amazing online options available, such as Canva. Canva even offers a free plan, which gives you access to a tremendous array of imagery and fonts that you can use to create eye-catching graphics that will elevate your business communications to a higher level without requiring a large cash outlay. And your website offers yet another way to prospect for potential leads through the technique of offering free materials in exchange for an email address. If you can create content that has actual, useful value for the people seeking you out, you'll immediately establish credibility with them by providing something to them free of charge from which they can derive immediate benefit. And if you can couple this with obtaining their email address as a prerequisite for receiving the content, you can now begin to compile and curate an address list from which you can launch future marketing efforts. Having already provided something of value for which you didn't charge, you'll now find yourself on a solid, credible platform from which you can put forward other offerings for an associated cost. Probably the greatest component of DIY marketing involves letting the people you've already served tell their stories to others. Whether it's via a YouTube video or a written testimonial on your website, this is where you enter into an entirely different level of legitimacy with those you want to have as future customers. At this point, it's no longer you begging someone to give your business a chance. It's someone who's already benefited from what you have to offer, sharing from their heart about how your company impacted them and made their situation better. And one final important point to consider is that you need to make sure that you track all of your efforts in a way that enables you to disseminate just how effective your actions are and make course corrections if necessary. Whether you do this through the use of something like a customer relationship management software, or even through humble tools like an Excel spreadsheet, gauging the transitions of leads into sales will help to clarify what's working for you and what isn't. Meticulous scrutiny of your marketing efforts is something that you have to figure out how to integrate into your daily operations so that you're not investing precious time and resources into efforts that aren't really bearing fruit. Finding yourself in the position of being unable to employ an outside agency to tell your story can be frustrating. The good news is, with patience, intentionality, and a well-crafted perspective, you can find your own avenues for sharing the essence of who you are and what you do with those you hope to serve. And maybe you've never really given any consideration before to doing your own marketing efforts, but there's no better time to start than the present. I'd also like to invite you to subscribe. We create content that's specifically geared toward helping small businesses to thrive, develop, and grow. I really appreciate you joining me today. I'd like to invite you to come back for the next installment. At Valor Excel, we're committed to helping you do smart work. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you next time, and until then, goodbye for now.